Hey everybody, welcome to our daily living skills lesson for today. This week we are going to be learning about seasons. So last week we covered weather, which is part of our unit on natural phenomena that occurs here on planet Earth. And so today we're going to go over something a little broader. We're going to go over seasons and how they relate to weather and how they affect us here on planet Earth, right? In the different hemispheres and whatnot. So let's talk about seasons. I personally love learning about seasons. I think it's really fun. So what are seasons? Well, seasons are ways that we describe the 4 divisions of the year that are marked by changes in weather, the amount of available daylight, and the ecology or behavior of animals. And seasons are pretty cool because they're actually caused by the Earth's orbit around the sun on its tilted axis. All right, so as Earth is orbiting the sun, you know that it takes us a whole year to do that. It is also slowly turning on a tilted axis, and that gives us day and night. And so the way that it orbits the sun and the way that it is tilted on its axis, that produces the seasons in both the northern and the southern hemispheres. And it is what gives us our night and day, right? So the 4 primary seasons include spring, summer, autumn or fall, and winter. And they occur in that order. It is spring in the beginning of the year, then it turns to summer, which transitions then to fall or autumn. And then finally, at the end of the year, it's winter, at least in the northern hemisphere. So this is an example of the 4 seasons in the northern hemisphere. I keep saying that phrase, northern hemisphere. Well, when you think about the Earth, if you were to divide it in half, you would have 2 hemispheres or 2 halves of a sphere, right? Because the Earth is a 3D shape. And so the northern hemispheres, that would be that top half. And so that top half is where we happen to live because we live in the United States. The bottom half is going to be the southern hemisphere, okay? Because it's the bottom half, right? So here in the top half of the world, we experience seasons this following way. Winters are cold. Spring usually has rain, and it's when animals come out and trees and plants start to bud. Summer is usually warm with lots of sunshine and a lot of like animal and human activity. And then fall is marked by changes in leaves. A lot of animals are starting to prepare for hibernation, which they will do in winter. And it starts to cool down weather-wise, okay? And so, interesting fact, if you live in the southern hemisphere, everything is switched. So our winters are actually their summers, which is pretty interesting because that means Australia, for example, has their Christmas. It's in their summer, right? Isn't that so funny? All right, so let's go over the seasons. We're going to start with the season that we're currently in, which happens to be autumn. The autumn or fall season is marked by cooler weather, increasingly shorter days with sunlight and overcast clouds, and decreasing animal activity as animals try to gather and conserve resources due to colder conditions. So as you know, in autumn or fall, that's when daylight savings time ends, and therefore we fall back an hour. And so, for example, 5 p.m. during the summer, there's still plenty of sunlight out. You can do a lot of activities, but 5 p.m. in the fall, it actually gets pretty dark out a lot faster. And that's due to the fact that the days are starting to get shorter and shorter. So the fall equinox is on September 22nd. So that's when fall begins, all right? The first day of fall is September 22nd. The autumn ends on December 21st. And so once autumn ends, it transitions to winter. And so here in the northern hemisphere, winter is marked by cold and wet weather. As you can see in this picture, there's plenty of snow, shorter days and decreased sunlight, and minimal animal activity as adult animals and their families go into hibernation, which is extended sleep. So here in winter, you'll notice a lot of people start to bundle up. They will move their outdoor activities indoors simply because it's cold outside and you don't want to get sick or, just be exposed to colder conditions. So the winter solstice is actually the end of autumn. It occurs on December 21st. That is the beginning of winter. And then winter officially ends on March 20th. So this is probably winter more towards the East Coast than the West Coast. There are parts of Washington and, of course, states that are north of us that do get snow, and parts of California get snow, but it's typically at higher elevations. It's pretty rare that we'll get snow in Southern California. In fact, in my 15 to 20 odd years of living here on and off, it has only snowed once or twice that I've seen here in Southern California. And it was such a treat when it did happen. All right, so after winter comes the spring. The spring season is marked by cool to warmer and wet weather, comparatively longer days filled with increasing sunlight, and increased animal activity as animals come out of hibernation to gather food and to mate or reproduce and make more animals. So in spring, you'll see a lot of flowers start to bloom. Trees will start to grow more. It's partly due to the weather. It's also due to the circadian rhythm of animals, right? I mentioned that ecology piece, or the behavior of animals. They instinctively know that here in the Northern Hemisphere, during the spring, that's when they will come out of hibernation. They will try to find a mate or a husband or wife, and they'll try to make babies. And so there's plenty of animal activity. It's a really pretty time to witness, is the spring. And so spring is also when daylight savings time begins, because the days are getting longer. The spring equinox, or the first day of spring, occurs on March 20th, and spring officially ends on June 20th, which is the first day of summer. And this is what California is really known for, right? It's our summer. So the summer season, as you all well know, is marked by warm to hot weather, long days filled with plenty of sunlight, and plenty of animal activity as baby animals grow into adults able to take care of themselves. So the summer solstice is June 20th. That's the first day of summer for us in the Northern Hemisphere. And then summer ends on September 22nd. And so when it's summer, we know that it gets pretty hot in California. So we always make sure to put on sunscreen, to wear appropriate headgear or eyewear, so that you're not exposing yourself to too many UV rays. You don't want to develop skin cancer or, of course, sunburn, because sunburn definitely hurts, right? And we go outside. A lot of us go to the beach. We engage in a lot of more outdoor activities because the weather is very nice. There's plenty of sunshine, and it's just a really pleasant time to live in California. It's during the beginning of summer. Towards the end, it gets pretty hot, but there's definitely activities that you could still do, and it's still nice if you go to the beach and places like that. Okay, so that is our lesson on seasons. I hope this was helpful, and I will see you guys later.